the station that's on your side. News 12, first at 5, continues.
Yes, in just a bit.
One woman is dead after a deadly crash on Peach Orchard Road. Happened around 9:40 last night at Circular Drive in Augusta. 71-year-old Betty Johnson died this morning from her injuries. She was a passenger in a vehicle that was turning left onto Circular Drive when their car was hit. No word yet on any charges that will be filed. If you're in Aiken or the surrounding area, keep an eye out for this missing teen, Aiden Canister. The 15-year-old is a runaway, but he might be in danger. Last seen around 6 o'clock yesterday morning on Cardinal Drive Southwest. He was last seen wearing a Metro Diner shirt like the one you see in this picture, as well as black shorts and camouflage Crocs. So if you know anything about Aiden Canister, call the Aiken Department of Public Safety. Today, FDA regulators approved the nation's first over-the-counter birth control pill. It's a landmark decision that means women could soon get a contraceptive as easily as they buy an aspirin. Abby Casares explains.
It could be as easy as buying Tylenol or eye drops. Just come in, pick it up, and check out. The pharmacists I talked to today say that they're excited to carry this new pill. They're just waiting on the state's Board of Pharmacy to tell them what's next. Chapman's Pharmacy in Hapeville was built in the 1920s, before the first birth control pill was available. Owner and pharmacist Derek Chapman says he's planning on stocking the first ever over-the-counter option. Chapman hopes his customers will talk to him about their birth control.
I'm hoping that it would be something that pharmacists could educate the public on.
The FDA's decision means customers don't have to have that conversation if they don't want to. They can find the product on the shelves and pay at the register. The Center for Disease Control estimates nearly 65% of women between 15 and 49 use a form of contraception. The pill is one of the most popular methods of birth control. A report found that 45% of 6 million annual pregnancies in the U.S. are unintended. Emory Law Professor Alicia Hughes says the FDA's decision is huge here in Georgia. Roughly 35% of Georgia counties are in what's called a maternal care desert, a place where there are no hospitals or birth centers offering obstetric care.
If you know that pregnancy and motherhood is not something that's right for you at the time, birth control as a protective measure to ensure the likelihood that you won't get pregnant.
Hughes says because this decision is controversial, she expects a challenge from Georgia lawmakers.
I would not be surprised if they try to regulate some aspect of it being over the counter.
We've heard all day how monumental this decision is, but don't expect to see changes just yet. The company says that it's still working on manufacturing pills, which will be available next year. They also have not determined a cost. In Hapeville, I'm Abby Casares.
A 15-year-old boy from Augusta is now the third 15-year-old to die from gun violence this year in Augusta. This latest shooting happened around 11:30 last night on Aiken Street in Augusta. The Richmond County coroner identified the teen as 15-year-old Jabari Webb. We want to go to Audrey Dickerver live in our newsroom. And Audrey, in just the last few hours, we learned there was a second person hurt in that shooting as well.
Yeah, after talking with some family friends, we found out that they were actually friends with each other. Family friends of Jabari said he left their house around 11 and was supposed to be back later that night. What we know from law enforcement so far is they responded to a call around 11:30 last night off Aiken Street. We have yet to hear exactly what has happened as it is still under investigation, but family friends say it was a drive-by shooting. Jabari's family friends described him as being very loving and said that he had so much life left to live.
It really hurt me because he was such a good person. He just wanted a happy life. He wanted better for everybody.
This is under investigation, and according to law enforcement, the other victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was treated at the hospital. On News 12 at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from family friends about what the last 12 hours has looked like for them and how they have been helping each other through this difficult time.
Just so hard to wrap your mind around. A 15-year-old, another one, and no motive yet behind this, but we'll continue to bring you updates. Thousands of South Carolina voters could be... For the first time in 4 years, Science Saturday returns and is being held at South Aiken High School. It's your chance to get up close and personal with alligators, snakes, owls, and more. The University of Georgia Savannah River Ecology Lab is putting on that event. They want you to know these animals are partners of ours.
And that conservation is really important, especially for our future generations. If it doesn't start with us now, then we may not have things in the future for our children and our children's children. Recycling and other things make big differences in the long things. If everyone takes small steps, then all the small things add up to something huge, and we can change, make big changes for the future.
So if you will scan that flow code on your screen right now, you can get all the details. It's free to the public from 10 to 1 this Saturday at South Aiken High School. Also a great way for kids to interact with the animals and learn more about them. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good time. Big news for USC Aiken and the surrounding area. For the next 2 years, Aiken will host a massive competition, the U.S. Eventing Association's Intercollegiate Eventing Championship. That's a type of horseback riding. It's a competitive horseback riding event. That'll be held at Stableview for the next 2 years. The full name's a mouthful, but eventing is a triathlon, essentially, for horses. But last month, USC Aiken's eventing team took home the gold for the first time in the national event. So exciting times in horse country. One summer camp for special needs kids, creating a special pop-up restaurant to test their skills. We'll have that story and more coming up.
Well, feel like temperatures over 100 today. They could get close to 105 all the way through the weekend. Take a look at that hot forecast just after the break.
Trash is piling up for McCann Waste customers across the CSRA, and all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're talking more with customers about what it's been like for them and how the company is responding.
Next week, it does not improve. 97 for a high next Tuesday, then as high as 98 by this time next week, next Thursday.
Decor is always an important ingredient for any new restaurant, and in Wilmington Island, a special camp is putting together a pop-up restaurant to give its campers a taste of the working world. Tim Gadara takes us there.
The name of our restaurant is the Mixed Up Restaurant!
The main activity at the Low Country Down Syndrome Society's Camp Buddy at St. Andrew's School this week is designed to give campers something fun to do and possibly a look at their future.
With our bigger kids, since they're all older high school students, junior, senior year, they're starting to graduate, we kind of wanted to focus on job skills. So we thought we'd let them run their own restaurant this week.
A science lab will be transformed into a dining room, and campers will organize a lunch service for a couple dozen family and friend diners this afternoon with a little help from student volunteers.
The business will be booming there. It's exciting. I can't wait to see when we get up and running. It'll be fun. I think we're going to have a good bit of people come in, just, eat a lot of food, have fun, have them working at a restaurant.
The first part of the week has been about planning and preparing the Mixed Up restaurant, from campers applying for jobs.
Do you think you'd like to? Yes, I like it. Okay, likes to cook. What do you like to cook? Hi, Amy.
To selecting menu items.
Now there's coleslaw, pasta salad, and potato salad. We have to pick 2 of those.
To making their own decorations and preparing condiment containers for the guests who will enjoy a seated lunch. And they say they are ready for when the lunch orders start to come in.
It means so much fun. I've never done it before, so it's my first time doing it, so I'm very happy doing it.
I don't know how it's gonna feel like, but I think maybe like a breeze.
That's the spirit of breeze. Some campers already work at restaurants in the Savannah area and say they are excited to put their skills to the test. This pop-up restaurant goes well. The camp may expand this to other careers as well. If you shop online at all this week, get ready for the scammers. After the break, how to spot some of the worst scams on the planet.
First alert.
Quick. Ashley's bringing Black Friday mattress savings at Ashley.
The Black Friday and July sales are winding down, and scammers are waiting around every corner. You could get scammed emails, text messages, any of the above while you wait on your packages. Our consumer reporter, Jamie Tucker, wanted to find out what these online criminals are up to, so he let them try to scam him.
It's one of the easiest and most lucrative scams out there. Text messages or emails saying there's a problem with your order. Maybe you've gotten one of these. Oftentimes they look legit with an official logo saying your order cannot be delivered or there's a problem with your account. Now, most of the time these scams want you to tap or click where you're taken to a website asking you to log in. If you do, you're giving the bad guys your Amazon username and password. Might be able to order whatever they want with your credit card. And I got this email just a few hours ago. It looks like it's from PayPal saying that someone charged my account $1,230 for a TV that I didn't purchase. It gave a phone number that I should call to cancel. So let's do.
Yes, I'm with PayPal. This is Daniel Jones for PayPal cancellation team.
This scammer explained someone compromised my PayPal account and told me to start the process of getting my money back by going to a website and type in a few letters and download a cancellation form.
Click on that file and open it.
If you go this far, you're one click away from installing an exe file on your computer. That will install malware and can do all sorts of nasty things, such as locking your computer for ransom or stealing sensitive information. He hung up when I told him I knew it was a scam. Be suspicious of any text or email about a shipping delay or an account problem, and warn your children and grandchildren they are far more susceptible to falling for shipping and shopping scams than baby boomers and seniors. That's What the Tech. I'm JB Tucker.
Kind of interesting there, but according to the FTC, imposter scams like these cost Americans more than $2.6 billion, and that was just last year. Take a look at this, an alligator on the loose, putting a Savannah community on edge. This gator was young, only about 3 feet long, but it was enough to have people staying inside until it was caught.
And I just saw this body moving a little sexy like, and all I could think was, I don't know any animal that walks like that except for alligator.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone describe an alligator walking sexy, but you know what? It is a little sexy. He's strutting. Look at him. People in that community didn't really quite know what to do, as you can imagine. One woman said she was stuck in her daughter's office because it was right outside.
They wouldn't let them stay outside because of the alligator that was out.
But the little gator enjoyed its time in the neighborhood for several hours before it was finally captured in a nearby field and safely relocated. It just walked around, bringing sexy back, you know? He's just strutting his stuff. Okay, the celebration continues for the back-to-back state champion Westside boys basketball team. News 12 Sports Director Dan Booth joins us now as the Patriots prepare for their state championship ring ceremony.
Now, Laura, one of the West Side's sayings throughout the season was, it's okay to feel good, but it's not time to celebrate. Well, the summer seems like a pretty good time to celebrate, especially when you're talking about having a ring ceremony. Now, it's been a special past few seasons for the Patriots basketball program. With the idea of going for their third straight state championship in mind, they're taking the time to reflect on everything they've accomplished to this point. It's not easy staying hungry after having this incredible level of success, but head coach Jerry Hunter knows it's important to cherish these moments that are supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, because going back-to-back is easier said than done.
Just to sit back and think over these last few years, the things we've overcome, you know, the times when we were down. The guys now can actually get the rings, you know, go on social media, show them off, have a good time with them. But it's time to get back to work day one when we get back in school. So have some fun, but we'll be back to work soon.
The ring ceremony will take place on Saturday at 2 o'clock p.m. inside the Westside Gym. Coach Hunter is hosting a basketball camp for kids ages 9 through 12 next Tuesday through Thursday.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. We are looking at a complex of showers and storms along Highway 56 between Swainsboro and Waynesboro, and impacting areas around Midville, too. Now look at radar and the forecast just after the break.
Cracks in your brain.